Oh, hi again. I'm actually on the almost like the backyard of the White House. That's part of the backyard over there. And then on this, behind me on this side, is the Department of Commerce. Uh, so we're right in the middle of things. And behind me is the Lincoln Memorial. You've heard of that big pencil that's down here in the sky. Yeah, and there's tourists going by.
From Illinois.
Right, thank you. Uh, and it's nice, it's cooler today. It's not hot and muggy like it was for a few days. Actually, it rained like hell yesterday. I don't know what you had yesterday. Okay, so I guess you hear me. Or I come in for financial freedom now making MacUB. I didn't understand. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It is, man. At my age, I just appreciate just waking up. So many people don't wake up at my age, and they're over. Good morning from Tampa, Florida. I used to go to home shopping there a lot. Had a lot of fun in Tampa. It's a nice town because it's a little high techy too. It seems like a lot of high tech folks are down there too. And the old, where they used to make cigars, I don't know what they call that section down in Tampa there was fun hanging out. But I guess they're restaurants, so they're not working too much now. But let me tell you about, no, yeah, thank God it's Friday. Yes, I don't know the difference of any day. I don't know why. Because, there's not a weekend anymore like there used to be. There's not new movies coming out on Fridays anymore, which I used to like to watch. And so it's sort of, to me, it's a little more all together. Zoe, thank you. Well, thank you, Zoe. Well, what I want to talk about, I got a message from a Let's Go Help member who was trying to get money to pay for a course. It was a professional course to get training for a job. I think it was in healthcare or whatever. And I gave him a bunch of sources to check out. And he said none of them offer grants. And he said, he went to the Career One Stop, said they don't offer grants. And it looked like all he did was check the website. And then he said he was working for hours and hours on the internet and getting nothing. Now, when I think, and I'm different than most people who use the internet, I've been studying databases for 40, 50 years. I got an MBA in databases back in the 70s. That was way before the internet. So I've been following this for a long time. And then as a researcher, a professional researcher for a long time, and doing customized research downtown Washington, D.C. on a staff of, I don't know, we had 30, 40 people doing that stuff and finding stuff for people. So what I see with Google now, and you've heard this a lot before from me, is that you got to know when to use it and when not. And if you're not having success with Google, I mean, it sounds like people I talk to spend dozens and dozens and dozens of hours and not getting, the money they have to. Well, I mean, to me, that's sort of the definition of crazy. You keep banging your head against the wall and getting the same answer. You can't do that. And Google isn't everything, but we think it is because we don't know anything else. Well, I think there's two things. There's two tricks or two strategies you should use with any subject. Number one, when you use Google, particularly in something new, use it and just find places that are .org and .gov. Okay. Now, when you don't find anything that will give you money by doing that, okay, just don't keep looking and looking on Google. You have to stop searching Google. If you give it a good amount of time or whatever, I don't know whether that's hours or minutes or whatever. Actually, I wouldn't spend too long, but that's me. You may have to learn more and spend a longer time to do that. So now what you do, if you're looking for like training money, okay, and whether I find it or you find it, that the your government agency, the local Department of Labor has training programs, okay? But you can't find the grants on the website. You can't stop there. Any place that is potential, that's saying they do training, and you can't find it on the website, you have to call. You have to call them on the phone. Remember that thing? I'm using it to do the internet. But this thing I'm talking into, I can call people with that. Wow, you can actually call people on that? Find a phone number. Find an email address of somebody who works there. You got to talk to people who knows. That's why I like government. The Let's Go Help. I mean, I had databases that had tens of thousands of programs, but people look at the databases, they don't know what the hell's good. I could tell you off the top of my head, because I studied all this stuff, here are the 3 things. See, that's what's so neat about, to me, Let's Go Help It. You come there and I show you, here are the best places to look. Otherwise, you're going to spend hours. I mean, these are rabbit holes. Don't forget, the internet is a big rabbit hole. Somebody said something about Trump. I think it's his son-in-law saying, if you want to know about Trump, read Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, that's going down a rabbit hole, right? And never getting out. And that's what the Google is. You get in a rabbit hole and you can't get out. You have to stop and use other techniques. And the best one you have is your phone, because you could get on the phone, talk to somebody. It may take you a half a dozen phone calls to find the right person, but that's okay. It's better than spending another 15 hours on Google and getting nothing. This way, you make one phone call to the government office that is in charge of training. And see, these nonprofit organization government offices, they have to talk to you. I mean, theoretically, they don't really have to. If they really don't want to, they find ways not to do it. But they have to talk to you. You're calling a commercial company and help you. Yeah, if you're not giving them money, they don't want to talk to you, right? But these people, it's different. So you talk to them, you find out, because if you get somebody on the phone, then you say, hey, here's what I'm trying to do. Where's the problem? I know they have lots of training money. They're probably not called the way you have. What they do is they maybe pay for your program. Maybe you have to have the person that you want to go get trained with become an approved person to get money to pay for your program. And there's all kinds of ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, if you're just going out and want to press one button and apply for that magic, I mean, that'd be great, and I don't blame you, because I wish it happened like that too. But it ain't gonna. And the world is just too complicated for you to want something the way you want it, and it for be out there that way in the world for you. Not going to happen. Well, it may, and you get hit by lightning, whatever. So what you have to do is get on that phone. Get on that personal relationship. The whole world works by personal relationships. That's why I am able to give you a hell of a lot better 5, 6, 7 places to start, looking for something. And that may not be the actual place, but that's the place also for you to contact and say, hey, what do you have? How can I maybe use it? And if it's not the way I want it, here's what I want to do. They're in that business of helping people like you solve that problem. So they've seen hundreds or thousands of people like you doing this. You're the only person you've seen do this. And you're not having any luck at it. So you're not a good source, are you? So you got to find people who've been in that war before and how they solve the problem. And these people, particularly I give you, because they're nonprofit organizations, they're government offices, they're in business to solve problems like you. Now you got to pick their brain, because that's the most important thing you have now, is contacting them, and finding out, okay, what am I doing wrong? What should I be looking for? How do I do this? You got to lay yourself out. I mean, it's a people business, getting help, getting information. It's all relying on people are the key to all of this stuff, because there's too much out there in the world, and you got to find people who know this stuff. You got to find people whose job it is to help you, and not whose job it is to get money out of you. You got to find people in the universe whose job it is to help people like you do this. So that's why if for training money, if it's using your local career one stop, talk to as many people down there because they've run into more, and then start going to 211 and look for nonprofit training people in your community. They'll have, depending on where you live, there's maybe a half a dozen to 30 or 40 people who grant money to train people for jobs, to get new skills. This is a big industry. You talk to them about it, and even if they don't have anything for you, they are the keys to you finding more help and possibilities that you or I would never even think of. That's the thing in life. You have to find stuff that nobody's thought of, or it's unusual. If you're relying on what Google is, Google does like the most popular thing or the thing that gives them the most money. Okay. So if you're doing everything everybody else is doing, that's worked out already. You have to find something different or something new or whatever. And that you get that by talking to people, not by following what Google says. Google just wants to make money or do what everybody else is doing. And if you're doing what everybody else is doing, that's milked out, particularly in hard times. In hard times, you have to be more creative than everybody else. Not just do what everybody else is doing. You're going to get what everybody else is doing. Nothing. They can't make it work. It's hard out there. Okay. So that's the one thing. You have to get deep out of the Google for a little bit or whatever. Find the nonprofits and the government grants, the government offices that might be able to help you. Then you call them. Okay. Here's the second thing you do. You want to find new stuff, not the old stuff. The new stuff is opportunities. Old stuff that's been around for, government programs. They've been around since the formation of the government. And the programs that I do, like Houses for $1, I've been talking about that program for 40 or 50 years now. And still here. That's the problem with the government. The current programs have been here so goddamn long. We keep adding new programs and we go head over heels in debt every time that happens. And we don't get rid of the old shit. So now what you got to find, and what's happening now in our country, the opportunities are in new programs. Man, we double the amount of money that's given out to people just in 6 to 8 months. We used to give out like $2 trillion or a little more. We still do. Now we gave out another $2 trillion. Double. Hey, you got the bonus. So now you have to find the new stuff. And see, Google is great for the new stuff because you can just go in Google and say, I only want new stuff. When you do a Google search, what you do is do advanced search. And then in advanced search, you have a times thing there. What time do you want these things to have shown up on Google? I only want the new stuff, the last 7 days, the last 30 days, or whatever. So now you get the new stuff. So you have the two things are how to find the new stuff. And I got other videos giving the details of that if you can't figure it out. How to get the new stuff. Because you only want something that's been on the internet for maybe 30, 60, 90 days or more. Maybe the past year or this year, maybe that's good enough. Just the new stuff. So the stuff, most of the program's been there for since I've been alive. A long goddamn time. So people know about that, and it's probably, overworked, but you got to check there. So you check the old stuff, talk to the people, find what else that you may be, it's jargon, you don't know. A grant for training. That's probably the wrong thing to ask for. You don't know. They may call it direct payments. They may not even call it a grant. They may call it not even training. There's just too many possibilities that you and I just don't even know. That's where you only get there by talking to people. So people who know all that stuff and have a better understanding of what you're trying to do. See, that's what I do. When people call, hey, I need a grant to start a business. Well, I show them not only the grants that are out there, but the other ways to do it. How to get free customers. If somebody gives you a $10,000, contract instead of a $10,000 grant, and you're in business to do business, that's better than a $10,000 grant. See, being around for a long time and working in this area, I know stuff like that. I want to start a business, I want a grant, boom, boom. And you're missing 90%, because 90% of the businesses that start today don't need grants to start. So many other ways, but we don't know that, and it's not bad that you don't know. You just have to go up the learning curve to figure that out. And there's other ways to solve the problem. In other words, someone like, here, say you want to go training money. Well, another way, if you can't find a grant to do that, the person doing the training, here's another way to approach that, is that, okay, if they think their training program is so good, tell them, okay, I'll give you something, $500 or something for $10,000, but I'll share with you the money I get when I get a job after taking your course. If you're saying I can take your course and I'll make 50 grand a year or whatever, okay, we'll do that. And I'll give you 20 grand over the first 3 years. Whatever, that's how I advertise. I don't advertise by paying money. I mean, maybe if I have to, if I know what really works. When I don't know what works, I do a share. I say, okay, you advertise this, I made a ton of dough on not only on television and everything, but also on the internet. Okay, if you think I can make money advertising on your platform or whatever it is, I'll give you half the money. That way it doesn't cost me anything. So the same way, if you think I can make a lot of money if I take your course, I'll give you half the money for the first 2 years, or I'll give you a third of the money, or 10%, whatever it is. You make it worthwhile to them. See, there's other ways always to do stuff in life. And that's what you have to be. And now in tough times when things are fat and everybody's got money and throwing it around and whatever, fine, you could do that. Now things are tough and you got to be more creative. And the only way you learn about being creative is digging deeper into stuff. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect better results. You got to do something different and deeper and evaluate and then do something different after that. Otherwise, you're going to be going around in circles. Well, today I'm going to Google another 10 hours. No. You get on the phone. You can't do that. That's going around in circles and getting anywhere. And banging your head again. Well, I think I'll bang my head against the wall tomorrow again for about 10 hours. How about you want to join me, Alice? Come on, let's go do that. No, it ain't working. So that's why you have to dig deeper into that. Find the people who are in the nonprofit and government offices who help people with that. They're the best place to know about other options. And you start getting on that phone and spend 10 hours on the phone. You spend 10 hours on the phone instead of 10 hours on Google. Man, you're going to create a whole new life. No guarantee. No, none of this is guaranteed. You can't. But it is guaranteed if you keep doing the same shit. You're going to get the same shitty answers, right? So you can't do that. That's the only thing you know for sure. You can't do the same thing and expect a different result, right? And everybody thinks that Google is the only thing. No. Or learn how to use it. Okay, thanks for putting up with me, guys. I hope this helps somehow, some way. No such thing as tomorrow. You're right. At my age, I think about that more and more.